Hey guys, this is Wei. Welcome to My Way to Cook. And today we are cooking something special. It is a egg sandwich, which is normally not very special, but this sandwich will have a twist later, and we'll get to that in a little while. So for the time being, let's start cooking what you probably are very familiar with. What we want to do with the egg is make it into a bit of almost like a fried egg, so it's a little bit more of a higher heat. You're cooking it probably all the way through. And let's use regular olive oil. So you drizzle some olive oil onto the pan. Spread it just a little bit. We don't want the egg to be all over the place, so we want it formed just big enough for a sandwich. And that's about it. So putting the heat on high. We want the pan to be relatively hot before we put in the egg, unlike if we're doing a scrambled egg where you're starting off with relatively low heat. So we'll let that warm up for a second. So the story behind this particular sandwich is that I actually ate it when I was a kid in England. My dad made it for me for lunch, and it is lunchtime, so we are having this for lunch, which is actually my breakfast. I haven't eaten anything today, so I'm always doing these videos hungry, so it's kind of it makes sense, right? So yeah. Anyways, I think the pan is almost hot enough. I'm seeing the oil start to move around a little bit. It's gonna be, yep, I think it's good. So there you go. You want some of that sizzle because this is not a regular like low heat egg. So we're gonna have clean my hands just a little bit, and then I do want to try and form it a little bit, try and make it into the shape of a sandwich. I'm not going to flip it just yet. I turned the heat down to be about medium-high, letting the egg cook. Just letting it go. You want it having a little bit of a crispiness onto the egg. Make sure that it's more or less cooked through on the other side before we flip it. And hopefully the flip goes well, because I want to keep that same shape. It's a little bit stuck. There we go. All right. Cool. So get some more oil over there, and then see if I can do this in one go here. Yeah, there we go. Nice successful flip. Cool. So we'll let that cook for a second. If you want to cook it more all the way through, you can. If you can also pat it down a little bit and try to squish it, break the yolk now, and make it form up a little bit bigger. Help with the cooking process, as well as to flatten it just a little bit. I can see that the yolk is still kind of soft in the middle, which might be nice because I know some people like that in a sandwich. The fancy sandwiches kind of tend to do that a little bit. So cool. So now we have the egg. It's done. It's still a little bit soft on the inside, which is fine. I think I'll try it today like that. Although that's not really how we do it in the old days. We cook everything through pretty much in Chinese cooking back in the old school ways of cooking. Again, we are in the coronavirus pandemic thing, and this is New York, so it's pretty heavy over here. And a lot of this reminds me of old school China. I'm talking about like the 80s, going into the 90s, where we are very careful with what we eat because we are living, like my hometown, which is actually Wuhan, everybody knows that now, is like a very hot and humid place, so there's a lot of bacteria grows there and all that. So we're very careful about cooking everything. We boil our water, we cook everything all the way through. So this is why the idea of eating a rare steak of any kind, of any degree, is a very foreign concept for me until I was much older. So I'm going to have a little bit more of this misto. Again, I'm a huge fan of this thing. It's just works wonders about having just a little bit of oil without overdoing it. Even for stir-fry dishes, which traditionally can be very oily, and especially restaurants can be very greasy, you can make it a lot less greasy just by spraying a little bit at a time. Cool. I have the thing on medium-high heat, so yeah, okay. I don't want to spend too much time on the bread. I feel like it's okay. Now, so we have the egg, we have some bread. Maybe you want to throw some ham or something in there, but I don't think that was in the sandwich that my dad cooked me. I think he just cooked an egg for me. You know, it's like back in the day, there wasn't too much money. It's just, you know, a very simple dish. Now, what makes this special is the add-ons that we're going to have onto this particular sandwich. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have sprinkle some cheese. I think, you know, whatever, we'll have some cheese. Some of this Chinese pickled mustard is what I believe it is. And I have the spicy variety, so it has a little bit of, you know, flavor to it. So we're going to add these two things to the sandwich. Now, even that is not the finished special ingredient that we're going to have on this. So let's just put some. Actually, let's do the cheese first, so it can start to melt. Just a little bit. I don't really care to have too much of that on this sandwich. I don't even think we had much cheese back in the day. You know, cheese and like Chinese cuisine is a very foreign concept in the old days because there was really no dairy, not for that many people. So that's the cheese. We'll layer the egg on top of that cheese. There we go. Helps it to even melt a little bit more. And then I'm going to open up a little bit of this. And just squeeze it on there. Give it a nice salty and savory sort of flavor. There we go. Put that back in the fridge and put it in here. All right. Cool. Now, for the finishing touch, the special ingredient that you guys probably was not expecting: jam. And you might be wondering, why would you put jam on an egg sandwich? Well, that's what I thought. But it works amazingly well. I don't know if like preserves or versus jam will do particularly better or whatever, but I remember loving this particular sandwich as a kid so much. And I always wanted him to cook it because there's something about the sort of mixture of sweet and salty that I love in this particular sandwich. So here we go, some strawberry jam. Got some bits in there too. Cool. We'll close that up. And yeah. This is a breakfast sandwich. I'll see if you can see it better in the camera. Yeah, egg sandwich with some cheese, some pickled mustard, Chinese pickled mustard with some like salty and spicy flavors, and jam. Not what you probably expect, but it is delicious, and we are here always about deliciousness. So I guess thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.